on his signature champion. Rush definitely does need to find some early fights and show us some reason why, you know, he's so hyped up. He has so many fans. He came over North America previously, won MVP, and had such a great legacy. Now people are super excited to see him back on the field, and this is a game that you have to win.
Well, for Echo Fox, remember, that was their first Saturday win of the split yesterday. Previously, it was lose on Saturday, win on Sunday for the first 4 weeks.
Yeah.
The next 3 weeks, they went 0-2. This is their opportunity to go 2-0 for the first time here in Spring Split if they can pull off this win.
Also for Echo Fox, that win yesterday broke a 6-game losing streak for them. So they're very happy to turn that back around. Let's see, though, we have a lot of early game focus here. All these early bans from Echo Fox are trying to take away possible, you know, early game playmaking from 100 Thieves. I think it is very interesting that yesterday, both of these teams played Jarvan jungle, both of them played Vladimir top, and both of them also played Braum support. So just yesterday, and both of them had scaling carries in mid and AD. So very, very similar game plans for them coming into the weekend.
Well, LeBlanc, Rek'Sai, Kalista, Zoe, Nocturne, and Jace are those first 6 bans here this game. As the Jarvan is locked in for Echo Fox, they want to make sure run that one back, see if maybe that is the key to going 2-0 here on this week, as 100 Thieves will lock in Thresh for themselves here at the start, trying to put Aphromoo on one of those playmakers, see if maybe that's the key to getting them a win here today.
Yeah, there's a lot of safety that goes with playing Thresh. You get a Lantern to save anyone else on your team, as long as you have good positioning yourself.
And we're picking up the Jinx really early, though.
Yeah, Jinx is definitely one of the marksmen that scales super well later into the game. Also really does need someone to save her. So the positioning between a Thresh and a Jinx is very important. You usually want to space out your Thresh a bit further away from the Jinx to get distance with your Lantern. Or if there's something like a Jarvan engage coming, your Thresh needs to be between the two so you can flay the EQ from Jarvan. Thresh is one of the best champions at interrupting that combo. You can also deal with Rakan in a similar fashion if your timing is impeccable.
And we saw on the screen there just a moment ago, Jinx has had 5 games so far in the NALCS, starting with Turtle, picking it against the Ezreal that we were seeing so much, and it has a 100% win rate so far across those 5 games. We're even seeing teams starting to pick it up earlier into the draft, not needing to see a less oppressive laner like the Ezreal before they lock it in, and Echo Fox responding with the Xayah Rakan are saying, all right, we're going to go with a strong lane to try to bully this early on. 100 Thieves respond with the Lissandra.
It does make a lot of sense here with both of the teams coming to this weekend and showing yesterday that they were going for late game team fight scaling compositions. Jinx is one of the best possible marksmen to have in that role. Getting excited with the crit build, puts out tremendous DPS when you can overlap rockets on multiple people. That being said, Xayah and Rakan is extremely potent. We saw that yesterday as well, getting early kills in lane with the Deadly Plumage attack speed buff. You really have to be careful when checking brush. That is how Aphromoo died at level 1 before they even got to lane yesterday, and it was very difficult for them you know, to come back from that bottom lane deficit.
And back when Xayah Rakan was the S-tier bottom lane, pretty much pick or ban all the time, that level 1 with the W start was one of the reasons why they were so powerful. And now that we're looking at the second part of the bans here, 100 Thieves really respecting Fenix's performance on the Azir yesterday. They don't want to deal with that one today. They'll ban it away along with the Cassiopeia, while Echo Fox is looking towards the 100 Thieves carry in the top lane on Ssumday. They do not want him on a 1v9 champion, and they will keep him off the Fiora and the Jax, but 100 Thieves locking the Aatrox.
Yeah, Aatrox picked up here. Likely going to Ssumday, can definitely be flexed to the jungle for Anda, so they are keeping a possible counter pick open here. I do like that, incorporating this flex pick. Let's see what Echo Fox show. As I said, they both ran Vladimir in conjunction with the Jarvan jungle yesterday. You get double damage types. Jarvan is very good with the Cataclysm, trying to keep people for a team fight in place for a Vladimir to get off that AoE damage, and they're going to go for it yet again.
You also get the tomato soup combo. If Vlad's on top of somebody, Jarvan makes the bowl, Vlad turns into the soup, and they're stuck in there taking all the damage. We'll see how well that wombo combo works out here. One more pick to go for Echo Fox. And it will be Swain, more big AoE magic damage.
Yeah, another one that we've seen recently emerging as a team fight setup here. So a lot of it is going to come down to the scaling here for these, for Xayah, for Vladimir. Trying to pull out a lot of burst damage. I do like Swain as well. If you're able to land any sort of CC on the Jinx using the passive from Swain to reposition and make it even easier to take down that all-important enemy carry, because 100 Thieves are designing everything here to try and make space for Bang on Jinx. Once you have your Hurricane, once you have your Infinity Edge, you just need space to fire off those rockets from, and you will destroy a team fight.
And it looks like we've seen a little bit of a bamboozle here coming out from 100 Thieves. We were expecting to see the Aatrox go into the top side, but it's going to be swapped into the jungle here over to Onda, as Ssumday will be piloting the Ryze into the Vladimir matchup topside.
Yeah, as we said, pretty easy flex there for Aatrox in the jungle, and Ryze a very good matchup into Vladimir, especially early. So 100 Thieves, once again, setting Ssumday up for a possible bully lane and topside focus for the early game. That being said, you don't want to ignore a Jinx Thresh lane to the point that they get behind early, because you still do really need the crit items coming together, multiplying their power and effectiveness. She definitely needs that income.
Really liking the St. Patrick's Day flair that we're seeing here today on stage.
I see you've got a lovely green flower tie on yourself, sir.
You rocking the green tie too.
No pinches
Everybody's
will be had.
safe from pinches here on the caster desk for the second half of the day. As we're loading into the game here, remember, 100 Thieves and Echo Fox, both towards the bottom of the standings. Echo Fox picking up that win yesterday to break that loss streak definitely feels good, but they've still got work to do. After today, there is only 1 week of play left in the regular season, Kobe. Every win is so important for these guys.
I haven't done my homework. I'm not ready for the final.
Well, it's coming up one way or the other. You better start your cram session, Echo Fox and 100 Thieves, because it is go time here. Everybody is still in the playoff race. But you're going to need to start racking up the wins here and now. On to Summoner's Rift for game number 3 of the day. Echo Fox coming out of the blue corner. 100 Thieves coming out of the red. Ssumday set up on the Ryze to see if maybe he can be that big split push threat. But meanwhile, you've got Apollo and Hakuho on the Xayah and Rakan here. The lovers duo that we saw a bit of yesterday. Seeing them back here again today. Maybe that's the answer to the Jinx that, as I already mentioned, has that 100% win rate over 5 games so far in the LCS.
All right, let's track that duo early on, because last time we did see an early kill being given over. This time around, 100 Thieves moving in with 3 people. See them check this brush.
Ooh, Aphro, nope. All right, he walks into the brush early on this time, doesn't find a rude surprise waiting for him.
All right, warding up a lot of this red side jungle. Let's see if there was 0 counter invade from Echo Fox here, so they did not get any vision in exchange for this movement from 100 Thieves, and this is setting up for a good early game here for Anda to be able to track rush throughout.
Especially for an early jungler like Jarvan, who at one point was notorious for the level 2 red buff cheese gank. You want to make sure you know where this guy is at all times. The EQ combo, especially on a target like the Ryze that has no way to escape from it. Be very deadly, seal the deal, even if you've got those summoner spells ready to go. But it looks like we're going to see Echo Fox get Rush started off here on that red buff. Onda starting off on the top side of his own jungle. So we're going to see these guys sort of mirror what's going on there. Onda starting off at the chicken camp, because it is so easy for Aatrox to clear the Raptors away when he starts off with the Hunter's Talisman. You can see not even really taking a lot of damage there, leash or no leash.
Yeah, even when they nerfed Aatrox's damage to jungle camp, still very easy with the giant AoE and the Talisman leech going through. Red buff start both sides. Now, Rush, they did see him on a ward. They knew that he started red buff. He still went to Krugs and is coming bottom for a possible early visit, though.
100 Thieves should be very aware of this. Now, Aphro starting Lantern level 1, making sure that he's able to keep his AD carry safe in case there was that early gank coming out there from Echo Fox. And that means Rush will end up just having to go back for the Scuttlecraft.
Again, there's a very low percentage chance that that works out, knowing that the enemy team just went on an invade through your red side. Rush has been tracked the entire game so far. It didn't take him too much time, so it's not that big of an expenditure, but it does mean he will get invaded on the top side, and it's going to go for it. Meanwhile, mid lane, Fenix does deal a lot of damage here to Lissandra.
Seligo will be forced back a little bit for now. Fenix shoving things up. As Anda moves into the enemy jungle, he sees the fact that his opponent was on the bottom side of the map, was low on mana there as he was clearing out the crab, but the crab gave him back about 75%, so Rush is still in fighting shape. And
he sees the Gromp is gone, so now he's trying to track. Where was the enemy jungler? There he is!
There we go, there's your EQ combo with the ward over the wall. Rush looking to chase after him now, gets out of the way of the chains, flash over the wall from both, as here comes your follow-up, and Solo's able to claim first blood there on the Vladimir. The vision comes in. Ssumday is likely going to be taken down now as well, and Rush makes it a 2-for-0.
And let it be known, nobody makes Rush look bad for an entire split. He's able to find him, tracks him down. He sees my Gromp has been stolen. Who's the thief? Puts the ward there into the tri-bush. They're able to chase him down. No hesitation, they flash over, and Solo's able to answer as well. One of them each getting the kill credit there, and that will go a long ways towards funding this top jungle duo.
You can see Fenix even cashing in on one of the assists there, using the W from Swain to make sure he was able to be a part of that one from away. And man, we always talk about Vladimir having a weak early lane phase and how you can punish that, but when he gets to make a play like this and grab first blood, it alleviates some of it.
Yeah, they know nowhere else for him to be. Rush is able to find him. No hesitation on the flash. Solo even coming very quickly afterwards, blocks that Q. So that means Rush can stick around for the second kill and cash in himself.
Ssumday wisely not wasting the flash there either, so at least he still has that available if Rush decides to come back up towards the top side of the map. But still, pretty bad play overall there for 100 Thieves. Echo Fox pulled themselves ahead 1,500 gold.
This is tragic for Ssumday on Ryze because, oh no, a little bit of a trade here. Aftershock means that Seligo can go in for it, but Fenix is doing quite a good job laying down the damage afterwards. I have to say though, it is very tragic for the Ryze into Vladimir lane. When Ryze gets early money like that to fund some cooldown reduction items, gets the extra experience from the kill, gets the minions pushing. This is really big news for Solo because the Vladimir can scale so well in a 5-on-5 situation, and it makes the threat of the teleports down bottom side really big. Solo did not have to use his, since Ssumday got killed, he had to teleport immediately back to lane so he didn't lose that on these minions. That means that with a teleport advantage, Rush can start up this dragon knowing that they have extra members who can join.
Yep, Rush also getting that early kill and assist money on himself means he was able to go back, complete the jungle item, and grab a longsword working towards Warrior. So he has the strength to comfortably solo down that Drake, grab it for his team pre-6 minutes, and get that extra bonus going. Good stuff so far here for this Echo Fox team that, as we already said, was in quite a slump. 6 losses in a row. They bounced back yesterday. They find a win that nobody was really expecting them to take, and now they seem to be running away with that momentum. That's what you want to see from a team like this when you're coming down to these last couple of weeks.
They were definitely hobbling along for a long time there. 6-game losing streak, but they cracked it yesterday, and now looking very good here to start out game number 2 and 1,000 gold lead. Nice experience advantage as well for the jungle side. We'll see though, because remember, 100 Thieves, they have Bang, world champion on Jinx. Very powerful scaling late game.
Yes, sir.
AD carry here. You know, Xayah's no slouch herself, but this is going to be the game plan as they flash in.
Apollo could be in some trouble here, having a flash out, getting himself away for now. Still looking to see if 100 Thieves can make the play, but the hook will not find the mark. And that means Echo Fox gets away.
Whew, fancy sidestep in there from Apollo and Hakuho. They do burn both summoners, but they get out with their lives. And that was both summoners from Aphromoo on Thresh trying to create this play for themselves. No early money going over to Jinx like that is very big for Echo Fox. They just avoided a possible win condition there.
Especially with what you were talking about, the Jinx firing off the rockets over everybody in the team fight. When you look at the Echo Fox lineup, the Jarvan is your only thing that's really going to resemble a tank on this team. I mean, yeah, Rakan's going to try to initiate, but he's not exactly tanky. So Jinx's rockets are going to shred everybody down. It looks like you will see Rush now going for the Bomby Cinder. Just went for that early longsword seemingly to make it so he had the extra strength to take the Drake. Does want to go for the Cinder Hulk Jarvan after all to make sure that he will scale better into a tank in the mid and late game, which I like. Because as I say, unless somebody can take the brunt of those rockets and soak some of it up, you're going to have a real hard time dealing with the
problem with rockets is that they explode. So even if someone's taking them, they do AoE, and the Runon's Hurricanes mean that they will overlap. So not only do you need someone to take them, but he has to stand far away with that rocket when it explodes so that it does not splash onto the rest of the team. And you also need to remember that Vladimir is so good, especially this is a phase rush Vladimir, at team fighting later on, finding Jinx in the back line. Because with Proto Belt mobility, with the pool, with the flash, Vladimir having the early money means that Bang will have extra worries on his mind. Jinx does not have her own escapes and has to rely on her teammates to lay down the crowd control, peel, and provide things like the Dark Passage.
Rush and Anda getting into a little bit of a war over some vision here. You saw Rush go in, miss the EQ combo, so that meant Anda was able to fire back with some spells of his own, knowing that Jarvan's main damage mechanism was down for the time being. Both supports now also part of this vision war. Hakuho going to find himself bound up by the chains, but dashes away with the grand entrance, which quickly becomes a grand exit, as Rush will now also duck back out of the river.
Entering his own territory back on...
Yeah, okay, that's one way to look at it.
Side.
Yeah, it's all about perspective here on Summoner's Rift today. As the perspective of Fenix and Seligo here in the mid lane continues to be one of shoving it up and farming it out. Once Fenix gets a couple more levels in that Death's Hand, one more level in the Death's Hand, I should say, he'll be able to clear these waves out just as well as the Lissandra can. And that's pretty much what this will come down to, as Ssumday gets the better of Solo in a trade here, but considering he's low on mana, that's not going to stay the same for very long. Solo will be able to heal up now with the Empowered Transfusion. And again, just trading back and forth here on the minions, waiting to scale up for both of the powerful late game champs.
Yeah, that early kill definitely going a long ways there for Solo. He's quite happy to be able to farm this out. Meanwhile, Ssumday stacking up that tier with a lot of investment into the mana. See if he's able to get to the point where you can have that split pushing threat on Ryze. We've seen, ever since everybody started building Death Cap third item on Ryze, everybody's eyes started to open. You're like, oh my god!
Wait, when you build AP, you do AP damage.
Does so much damage now. Yeah, and he really has been a menace in the side lane. Again though, this double AoE AP threats in the solo lanes of Fenix and Solo will be very big later on. Here we go though with a dark jungle invade.
Now, 100 Thieves saw Rush walk through the mid lane towards the bottom side river. They're very aware of the fact that something is likely going on here in the bottom side of the jungle. They know Fenix isn't on the map right now. Rush is stealing away the jungle. They don't want to walk into this blind and give away some free kills, so they'll just concede both the blue and the wolf camp as Anda now moves in, sweeps out some of the wards, and sees what the damage has done.
Oh, this is a crazy, ill-advised move there. If you do not want to set up a one-man brush gank, your mid laner is recalled. So as a jungler, if you ever find yourself alone in the enemy jungle with no support from possible laners, yes, you may not like what you find there.
You need to leave, especially when the guy that you're looking to cheese from the brush has an anti-death on his ultimate.
Yeah, take a while to kill him.
Probably not going to find too much success here with that one, but we may see this break out into 3 versus 2. It's Rush going in with the flash of the EQ combo. Looking to find Anda. He's got him trapped in the Cataclysm as Hakuho has made his way into the fight now as well, using the quickness to get the charm into the CC and the damage, and Fenix will grab him with Death's Hand and drag him down. 3-0 now, Echo Fox.
This is looking like Rush's game. He makes the call, and Echo Fox for once do look coordinated here. Very quick movement from Fenix. He roams down to support Rush, gets the passive pull off onto Anda, so that creates even more distance, and then Rush follows it up with the Cataclysm. Easy kill for themselves, and they stack another Baron. Our Echo Fox come, excuse me.
That's an early Baron, Kobe.
You know, purple Jarvan skin, right?
Purple Jarvan, purple worm, all sorts of purple. But that is a Mountain Drake, and that feels very nice for Baron later.
Honestly, though, this is looking good for Echo Fox. Is this Echo Fox coming together at the last possible moment right before playoffs to make a last-minute run?
The 11th hour superpower might be real here for the Echo Fox squad as Solo gets the better of Ssumday, forces him to get back, dropping the Hemo Plague for a better trade. Apollo having a flash and ulti to get himself away. Bang looking to still maybe find the damage, has to be yoinked back to safety by the power of the Lantern. Neither side gonna find a kill. Summoner's gonna be used by both. 3 for 2. Summoner Edge goes over to 100 Thieves.
All right, little closer on the edge of tower range. Bang does get rooted up. Very good for them that he was not just inside there, as the extra damage might have taken him down, but another exchange of summoner spells, and rushes on another objective. The baby Baron, known as Rift Herald.
More trades mid lane too. Fenix now with that level 9. Death's Hand on a very low cooldown. When you look at the level 5, one of those, 2.5 seconds. The current state of the cooldown on that Swain Q. We very much have to be respectful of the extended trades. And there you can see again the power of that as Fenix constantly pressing up, trying to force the issue onto Seligo here on this Lissandra. Fenix is building himself a CS lead. As you can see, those have been built, although mostly just very slightly to the side of Echo Fox in every lane except bottom. Never move, not going to find Seligo on the back half of that, so no root coming through there. Fenix will maintain control over this mid lane.
And he sees multiple members of 100 Thieves approaching mid lane on that ward, so he's able to back off afterwards. Once again, that objective brought to you by solo lane power. If Vladimir and Swain are able to push up their lanes first and they roam to the Rift Herald first, and they're able to support Rush in that objective. Pick it up. Now Rush quick to use it. He wants turret plate money.
Yeah, it's all about the turret plates. It's because of the fact that you've only got 30 seconds to pop it. They want to make sure they get the money off of those. And yes, sir, they will be getting that here today in the bottom lane. Ssumday again going to be forced back there top side. First turret gold not going the way of Echo Fox just yet, but cashing in on 3 plates feels damn good.
Definitely so. That's what you want as a jungler. Your main objective after picking up the Rift Herald. Use that sucker before 14 minutes so you can cash in. A lot of plates have actually been mined in this game, as you can see. Quite a few stocked up, and most of them for Echo Fox.
We'll get the counter here in a moment, but Echo Fox have built themselves 2,500 gold lead 14 minutes in, and that's...
The numbers disappeared right when I was talking. Couldn't finish before they...
Unlucky, but it's a nice lead for Echo Fox in the early game. As you said, the team's looking coordinated. This isn't Rush jumping in, trying to start things off when nobody else is on the same page. He's got the team to follow him up, both on the play that they made in the top side to get the first 2 kills, as well as the follow-up kill that we saw later on in this part of the jungle we're looking at again right now.
And if that is a topic that Echo Fox have talked about multiple times in our interviews with them after the games. They're always talking about, all right, you know, we just had split decisions here. One half of the team going one way, some people in, some people out, and if you can clean that up, that's where you're going to find your victories.
The ideal League of Legends team all looks like it's played by one guy on 5 different computers. But right now, Echo Fox is trying to find a collapse here on the bottom side. Looks like they won't be able to land the CC they need. 100 Thieves will disengage this one. They lose that outer turret, though, which means first turret money does go over to the side of Echo Fox, continuing to build that gold lead. And once again, they will look to steal away the blue buff here from the enemy jungle. Anda has the vision of it, though, with the control ward there in the brush. And with a well-timed smite, he'll make sure he keeps that out of Echo Fox's hands.
Nice defense there, able to at least get the blue buff for themselves. A little bit of cooldown reduction does help Aatrox. Not the best of scenarios here, but we shall see. Now with the bottom tower down, we expect a rotation here from Apollo and Hakuho to move right up to the mid lane and then to keep this pressure. You can see Dragon coming up once again. Another mountain will be arriving in 50 seconds. So Echo Fox's main goal, retain control of this bottom river area, set up for that one first before knocking down the extra towers.
Ssumday continues to farm up here on the Ryze. Archangel stacking up against his opponent who has the Proto Belt complete of Mercury Treads in inventory for the entire top side of the map of Echo Fox, really respecting the double AP solo lanes drafted by the side of 100 Thieves. But that means when you look across the board at the inventories of Echo Fox, there isn't really any armor to speak of yet, meaning if Bang gets to pop off in one of these fights, it could be very deadly. That's still your win condition here for 100 Thieves. Yesterday in their loss, they were almost able to turtle it out when they started to fall behind, but it was that engaged mid lane that went awry and broke their ability to defend that. We'll see if this team here today can once again try to recover from an early game deficit.
And that is exactly why tracking summoner spells is so incredibly important. In a game like this where everything hinges on is Bang going to stay alive, Echo Fox have to track that flash. That is the most important summoner spell in the game, is the Jinx flash, because they're going to try and dive him. Here we go, though. Might be a fight over Drake.
Hakuho is looking hungry to go for the quickness here. Flame Chomper's already going to be dropped by Bang. It looks like 100 Thieves are going to concede this one. They recognize they're behind. They don't want to take a fight in open ground. Hurts to give away 2 mountains, but at the same time, you also don't want to be going into something haphazardly. Dragon's already going to be secured. Hakuho into the back line, looking to maybe find Bang. Seligo already going to be putting himself into the ultimate now. Anda on the front line. World Ender going to be keeping him alive. Solo trying to get himself away. Will be surviving for now. Resurrection for Anda, but he's going to be pulled to safety by Aphromoo. 100 Thieves tries to make the fight, but they can't find anything and end up just disengaging. Nobody dead.
Yeah, that stopwatch for Rush there going to save his life as the Jarvan going in. It's really important, the cooldown actually. So that one being blown might be a big deal. Again, some of the summer spells though, flash from Lissandra, also a very big initiation tool. And in the end, Echo Fox did get the second Mountain Drake for themselves.
2 Mountain Drakes now for Fox means a team that already has plenty of damage, plenty of consistent damage with 2 rapid-fire spammy mages as well as the Xayah could be a real threat on Baron. Once we see him spawn here in a couple of minutes, that's still a way away. We are only 18 minutes into this game, only 3 kills to be had so far. Both teams trying to keep this one relatively low body count. As Bang keeps trying to farm up here on the Jinx. Remember, you want to see him hit 2 or 3 items before he really comes online and turns into that team fight monster.
Yeah, right now you just rely on luck for those crits to come through because you have
25%.
Only the infinity edge here, and you just hope that you cash in. A couple crits in a row, you can act like you are an extra item up.
Ah, yeah, I already planned the whole thing. Calculations there for the crits on a single item, but once he does get that Hurricane or whatever Zeal evolution he decides to opt for this time around, things are going to be a lot less luck-based. He will continue farming up here in the mid lane. Aphromoo trying to help him out there, grab a couple of stacks for himself with the Relic Shield. As Anda marches around his own jungle, tries to maintain control here, and that's what you want to see from Echo Fox, a team that has been struggling. If they are starting to come back together now, making sure that they can take leads and keep them. We went over the stats in a previous week about how a lot of North American teams fail to translate early leads into victories with only a, I believe, 50-something% win rate when ahead at 15, which means that's what I want to see from teams that are ahead early, the ability to choke out the jungle with vision, turn those early leads into mid-game leads, turn those mid-game leads into big objectives, and turn those big objectives into nexuses. But Ssumday, once again, feeling the power of the Vlad there in the bottom lane, as Fenix will continue shoving up here in the top side, taking the second turret of the game and putting even more gold into Echo Fox pockets.
And again, the big point of power that 100 Thieves need to get going here is trying to get Ssumday on the Ryze with this side lane pressure going to buy some time for Jinx to farm up. If the Ryze can gain that advantage in the 1v1 on the side and actually gain pressure on that tower, rather than Vlad being safe, farming under turret, just clearing out the waves and sustaining through Q and avoiding the all-ins with pool, then it means that 100 Thieves won't be able to buy that extra time here for Bang. Right now, they are bleeding a bit of money, and the gold advantage for Echo Fox continues to grow as they knock down the top tower and now focus mid.
But that's also one thing that we usually see as a speed bump for a lot of teams, especially teams that aren't towards the top of the standings, is after you take down the 3 outer turrets, it becomes much more difficult to push onto the second line because you have to expose yourself much more in terms of the flanks that are available for your opponents to come around, the pincer attack opportunities. And I want to see if Echo Fox can keep cleanly pushing the pace and the tempo of this game. We are past 20 minutes now. Baron is going to be an option. It is always pretty risky to try to take it early. It does a lot of damage at this point in the game. The next Drake will be spawning here in about 90 seconds, and that'll be cloud number 2. If Echo Fox can get that one, it's going to give him some extra chase down power and rotational ability between these lanes as we move further in.
Bang has almost 2,300 gold on him right now on the Jinx, going for the recall, gets the full Hurricane purchase. So that right there is the makings of a team fight for 100 Thieves. Very, very big item spike does come in. Rush starting up the Baron at this exact time. No vision currently for 100 Thieves. They've got to get something over there to check. Oh, Fenix walks by the control ward. That might give Anda a little inkling.
100 Thieves has to know something's up right now.
It's been dark for so long.
It's real dark over in that part of the map. Anda's finally heading over. He's got the sniper down.
Full of terrors.
But Baron has already been secured by the side of Echo Fox. 100 Thieves asleep on that one. And it ends up getting snatched away from him before they even realize what's going on. Very good heads-up play there from Echo Fox making the call.
Yeah, that's what happens when the watch around Baron falls asleep. Big, easy pickup for a double Mountain Drake team. Echo Fox take advantage of those early dragons. They're like, you know what? We can throw some DPS at Baron. If we get checked, yeah, we'll get checked and we can pull off fairly easily. We've got a lot of sustain. It won't be a big issue. But if they don't check us, we've got the damage to pull it off very quickly, and there's not that much time that they're going to have. Now with Baron buff, you talk about speed bumps, Captain Flowers.
This is the pothole.
You've got your car with an extra 8 inches jacked up now. Speed bumps aren't going to do anything.
Yeah, let's see what's going on here for Echo Fox as they will grab the second Cloud Drake of the game here for themselves. It's 4 Elemental Drakes to nothing, and the Tier 2 turrets are primed for the taking. Usually when a team grabs Baron for the first time, if there's Tier 2s left standing, you just consider that free money on the map, because it's pretty easy to take those when you are enchanted with the Baron buff. It still is pretty early in the game, so we'll see if 100 Thieves can manage to hold these lines at all. But they've got those powerful solo laners split pushing in the bottom and top lanes as Rush, Hakuho, and Apollo set up shop here mid. Rush and Hakuho rotating down to the bottom side now to help Solo put some damage onto this Tier 2 in the bottom lane. It looks like they'll get a little bit of damage down onto that one before 100 Thieves is able to rotate over. And now Solo's going in there, able to find some damage down onto Ssumday, who does pop the shield from the Seraph's Embrace. Meanwhile, mid lane, it's Echo Fox knocking on yet another door, and they will take down turret number 4.
Honestly, I think it's just Echo Fox slow and steady wins the race at this point. 100 Thieves have not shown that they can come back in any games. No. They have not had good late game. They have not had good coordination themselves. So as long as Echo Fox don't throw away a big risk here. Okay, 100 Thieves going for someone on top side. They should be able to get him.
100 Thieves want to go after Fenix here, who does have that stasis to keep himself alive. Not going to pop anything else. Doesn't want to waste any resources. Recognizing he's dead, ends up getting taken down. But meanwhile, Echo Fox in the bottom lane uses this opportunity to take the numbers advantage and break that inhibitor turret 4 versus 3.
Inhibitor turret is open, and there is still a minute left on Baron, but that's going to be a reset with Fenix being taken down. Ssumday and Seligo combining on the top side. They do get the important kill to put a stop to the push.
And yesterday, you talk about Echo Fox is in a good spot, play it slow and steady. Yesterday, they were against Cloud9, and Cloud9 had an advantage in the mid game and threw that away. Echo Fox was able to punish on that, come back and find their win, and that's got to be fresh in their minds as well, saying, look, we took these guys down yesterday because of a throw. Let's make sure we don't make the same kind of mistake here and give them an avenue back into this one.
100 Thieves got to count their blessings. Again, after the kill, Ssumday pushes, gets a turret for themselves, and gets a little bit more gold in their pocket.
Apollo and Hakuho here on the Xayah and Rakan. We were talking about watching these guys, seeing if that's going to be the answer to the Jinx in the bottom lane. Bang's not necessarily shut down, sitting on 0-0-0 on the Jinx, still farming up, but Apollo and Hakuho, who have had quite a few rough games for themselves recently, are also currently just sitting on 0-0 and 1 each. They're scaling up on these champions that are going to be very relevant.
We can craft a situation where 100 Thieves come back in this game, even down gold, even with a lot of their towers gone and their inhibitor open. All it takes is getting a kill on one of the squishy targets, i.e. this Rakan played by Hakuho. You've got a perfect champion in Lissandra to lock down that Rakan as soon as Hakuho goes for initiation. If you have the better timing, if you outplay the Rakan, you lock him up with some crowd control, you get the kill, Jinx gets excited, you get the extra attack speed, movement speed bonus, and allow Bang to take over a team fight. That is how they can find victory here, even in the jaws of defeat. Might get Fenix again.
Bang gonna be taking some damage. Has to be pulled to safety there by Aphromoo, and now it's 100 Thieves who end up losing their own mid laner. Echo Fox calling the cavalry just in time.
Echo Fox are ready for it this time around. They're able to save Fenix, get the turret afterwards, and with that Lissandra down, now there is no person with the super easy answer, and Echo Fox will pose the question.
100 Thieves have to see if they can defend this here. Echo Fox bringing everybody up into the top side, and some trouble goes into the world ender, going to be resurrected here immediately, but will he just get brought down yet again? Solo going in, the tides of blood will wash them all away, and it's Stasis forced out for the side. 100 Thieves, a double kill over to Solo, and Echo Fox have found their fight. This will surely be the first 2-0 weekend for this team. All split long.
Echo Fox take the inhibitor. They're on the Nexus turrets. They could go mid. They could go bottom. Looks like they're going to destroy the whole base.
Slow and steady wins the race once again. Going for inhibitors instead. Don't want to try to force anything with both those AP solo laners back alive. And they'll decide to back off, make one more push out of it. Baron will be spawning in 45 seconds. You can only assume they're going to stop by the pit, pick up another one of those, and then run it home.
Sometimes in situations like this, I don't even risk it at any of the epic monsters. You already have 2 inhibitors down, and I go right back into the base. Here's another look at the all-in dive from Echo Fox here. And as you said, Solo on the Vladimir. Remember, he got the early kill, has some farm in the side lane, giant AoE is able to take them down. That hook at the end does put an end to the push by killing off the Vladimir, though, so that was very important to pull Solo into the fountain and find that last kill.
Okay, Echo Fox, all you got to do now is put the final nails in the coffin, and this will be that first 2-0 weekend. 100 Thieves will do whatever they can. You got one more shot pretty much to try to find one of those pop-off team fights for Bang. Currently sitting on 2.5 items, but is that enough?
This is what I was alluding to. Oh, Teleport actually comes in, and they're going to flank 100 Thieves.
100 Thieves, 4 versus 5 right now. Ssumday could
door
make
to
his
their
way in
own
with the
base
realm
is
war,
closed.
Yeah, they've lost priority over their own base. Ssumday has made his way back in now, getting himself back in time for this fight. Will be a full 5v5 if Echo Fox decide to force it, but 100 Thieves is really separated. Solo trying to find some damage there. Ssumday putting some DPS down onto him. Rush having to jump back now, and they've already killed. Bang! That's your cannon immediately out of the fight. Seligo into the stasis, going to quickly be brought down now. The remaining Thieves will head for the fountain, but Echo Fox with a 2-0 will likely just push everything in here. Solo still on the front line with this Vladimir. Echo Fox pushing in as a 5-man unit. Rush into the back line. Ssumday thrown up into the air. Cataclysm brought down. There's the tomato soup I'm talking about. And that is not what 100 Thieves ordered. Echo Fox puts a double kill over to Apollo. And this will be that 2-0 weekend. And this will be Echo Fox taking the win.
Rush comes back, and Echo Fox with the 2-0 weekend for themselves. First one here. Very, very happy about that. The hope is still alive for them for playoffs.
Yes, it is.
This split has been so contested that there is still a lot of room to move around.
And you said it yourself, could this be the surge at that final moment in the split to really make the push when it counts? If you're an Echo Fox fan, you're starting to get excited because this could really happen here for this team. The clump has been so close for so many weeks now, and if you can pick up these wins here at the very end, that could be exactly what they need to push through. And now that they're on the same page, especially with Rush, who I really want to commend, started off, people were hyped up for this guy at the beginning of the split, had some shaky performances, went into Academy, Panda was subbed in, that wasn't the answer. Rush is back now, and it seems like he's on much better communicative terms with the team.
Definitely looking a lot better here today for Echo Fox. And as you said, only one more week of the regular split to play. We'll see who does, in fact, end up in the playoffs.
And this was a clean game, too. Echo Fox, 1 death on jungler, mid laner, and top laner. No deaths on either member from the bottom lane. And again, I want to applaud them for that because in the Echo Fox losses recently, it was Apollo and Hakuho who often found themselves on the receiving end of multi-man dives in the bottom lane. They were a point of pressure for a lot of their opponents, and they didn't have the greatest of games. This time around, they were able to keep themselves alive. The Xayah Rakan ended up being a great answer to the Jinx. They scaled up. Everything worked out. Hakuho had some good engages, and it was a clean effort all around from the entirety of Echo Fox. And now we're going to send things down to Avli, who's standing by for a winner's interview.
Thanks, guys. Apollo, congratulations on the win. Impressive game from Echo Fox against 100 Thieves. But for me, I think the shining moment was that sneak Baron steal, because I don't think they had any idea what was going on. So tell me about that call and that play.
Yeah, I mean, we had double mountain, I think, at that point. So we knew that, like, we're going to do Baron quickly anyways. But Rush made the call, like, hey, you know, I think they're recalling. We can just sneak a Baron, and it was pretty simple.
And I mean, speaking of Rush, I spoke with him yesterday. This is the first 2-0 weekend for Echo Fox for the entire split. And he said that it's all him coming back. But for you, what do you think really changed about the team to pull off the successful results today?
It was mainly Rush coming back. Yeah, I mean, he did a really good job today. I mean, and yesterday as well. But not only that, like, obviously everyone else has been working hard, and we know it's going to be a hard run for us for playoffs, and we still have like TL ahead of us and CLG, but you know, we're just taking it one game at a time. And I think at least like with these performances, whether or not we make playoffs or not, it is still like kind of good for us to gain confidence even going into next split.
Well, that's great to hear, Apollo. Thank you so much. And I hear that you are joining Hakuho on cooldown right after this, or after today's games. I believe you're going to be doing a Kayle and Morgana 2v2 matchup, so that's going to be very exciting to see. Are you excited for it?
I didn't know what I was doing, so yeah, I'm excited now.
Well, now you know, so you better go backstage and prepare. But that is it for us here. State Farm Analyst Desk, what do you guys think?
Thank you, Avli. Spoiler alert for the LCS cooldown later on. Now Apollo gets a little bit of practice time, I guess. But a 2-0 weekend for Echo Fox following a 6-game loss streak. What a turnaround for this squad as Rush comes back into the lineup.
Right. Four out of 6 of those losses were on Panda, I believe. So I don't think Rush felt too bad about the loss streak since he didn't contribute to it, you know?
Right.
Like maybe a little bit in the beginning, but he comes back and he does really well in both games, actually. So I'm excited to see him happy again.
Well, he is so confident picking Jarvan twice to the point where this one he says, first pick me the Jarvan, and that's such a relief for the rest of your team when you can say, oh, the jungler wants to have his first pick, everything else can be saved. And he plays just with the confidence of the Rush that has not been on a losing streak, right? I think that's what he got out of Academy, thinking, what do I need to get back in me? It's that aggressiveness, that decisive play that
No
I
more
was known
Karthus
for.
then, you're
No
saying?
more, yeah, no more Karthus.
I turned it around
a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. We saw very early on that he made a visit to the bot lane. Cross map to go capitalize on an invade by the Aatrox, the opposing team, picking up an early kill off of that one.
So first of all, this is really shocking for me out of the bottom lane of 100 Thieves, going with the Lantern first. You know Flay can stop the Jarvan combo as well, so if you're really worried about it, you can do that. You don't have to go so defensively, but regardless, Rush gets the Scuttle Crab and says, I'm just going to be looking topside. Pings go out into the blue buff, and this is the mentality you need to have when you're playing Jarvan. Early game is so important, and so he finds out that the Gromp has been missing. Well, where is he? And he's dead.
Right, and that's such a weird play for a jungler to do. Well, a lot of people are going to blame Anda for that one, but honestly, it's a really weird pass from Rush because oftentimes junglers get the jungle cap and get out, and you waste a lot of your time running up, and then your jungle's missing, right? But he knows how fast Aatrox can kill camps and knows that Anda will still be there.
Yeah, it was just a good play all around because they had the entrance to the top side warded initially, so they see Anda come in, and then when Rush goes over, he checks his blue first, then checks his Gromp, sees it's dead, so he's like, all right, we'll just throw a ward for a last-second check, and the fact that he was willing to check all 3 spots is what got them that kill, and kind of turned the game initially horribly wrong for them because it is this mage versus mage topside, and you get a 2-0. Suddenly, you don't need to worry about that topside at all anymore.
I think that's kind of the mistake that you make when you're kind of new and you're thinking, okay, the other jungler should just be happy that I didn't take his blue buff. He's not going to come after me right now. He should just be like, I'm going to go take my camps. I'm glad that I was able to make the gank bottom and still retain these things, as opposed to he's on a warpath to catch me out of
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's tough, right? You know that his Raptors and Wolves were still up. There's a possibility after clearing that scuttle that he just decides to, you know, path back through his jungle, take whatever camps are remaining, and you get out scot-free. Not the case this time around. Rush, hungry for blood, as he should be on that Jarvan, and getting his team out to an early lead. And that's where I kind of want to talk about this Echo Fox squad and how Rush maybe has returned to form and what it does dynamically to the rest of the team.
He was always supposed to be their like in-game leader, so to speak, and their catalyst in the early game. So this is kind of like the prototypical game you want to see out of Rush and Echo Fox, where the bot lane's going relatively even. Top lane and mid lane are mostly influenced by him. The only other kill they got pre-20 minutes was a mid lane engage onto Anda again, kind of keyed off of Rush. So he's supposed to be the early game playmaker, and then they become a pretty stable team from there because for the most part, Solo and Apollo and Hakuho are decent laners.
Right, and as in the interview, Apollo said Rush was the one that made that Baron call. I'm pretty positive Panda would not make that Baron call because the Baron call wasn't like a super secure one. It's kind of random, to be honest, but it was a good Baron call nonetheless. And he's a player that's willing to make those calls to like get your team a huge advantage.
Right, exactly. And so again, I'm just taking a look at how this team might develop into the future and kind of matching preseason expectation finally to some in-game results. You heard Apollo mention the road for them is still tough outside of that top 6 at the moment, but a pathway, a very clear pathway still exists for them if they're able to pick up a couple more wins against CLG and Team Liquid next week.
Well, I just want you to think about the dynamic that it brings to the team when you have a jungler that's confident versus one that falls behind. The confident jungler's like, I want to go mid lane. Can you help me out? I was like, oh, yeah, my jungler's got my back. I can do all these things. Let's go for the invade together. Whereas the guy that's a little bit falling behind, you gave up first blood. No, I can't do that. I can't contest. I'm behind. Jarvan can mess me up. Can we do this? Like, no, we need to go for a trade. I got to go contest. I have to avoid the Jarvan constantly. So you are always one step behind. And you can overcome it if you just say teamwork can do it. But more often than not, just that one little misstep can snowball so much.
And this was a relatively low-kill game until the very end there in the Nexus defense. We saw a few more kills go through, but it did, to me at least, show on the side of Echo Fox that with those leads, they did know a number of the steps, you know, that you need to take in order to complete a game in a somewhat clean fashion and ultimately take the W. But now I want to flip the script and talk about 100 Thieves. While they're not mathematically out of the playoffs just yet, they seem almost doomed to be so. And so I want to talk about what the future might look like for this team. And I know you have some thoughts specifically around the mid lane, as that is the position that they have chosen to swap throughout the split.
Right. Moving forward, you have to think about, do you want to stick with your veteran mid laner that can speak Korean and English so you can communicate with your AD carry and top laner? Or do you want to move with this new rookie? And it doesn't seem... Personally, I'm not too impressed by Seligo right now. He has a forward percentage of like 9.3% compared to Hui's 20.4%. And what that means is basically that Seligo almost has 0 lane control in any of the matchups that he's done, and he has no ability to roam or move around the map. So granted, Hui's stats aren't that amazing. at least he has lane control in some games, and he has the priority to make plays.
Yeah, I mean, to play devil's advocate on the other side, he was basically bottom of the barrel across the board in every stat prior to him getting sopped out. And now Seligo has taken that position a number of times. So there's clearly something dysfunctional with this team, and I don't think it's necessarily fair to pinpoint either mid laner. And I can very much understand the team saying, well, we need to figure out what our plan is, not just for this split, but next split. And he's a rookie and you want to get some games on him and you see how he holds up. Maybe you don't like what you've seen through 4 games, but you have to start planning for the future.
Yeah, I also think when we say that 100 Thieves is not out for the playoff race, we're more doing a service to mathematics and numbers as opposed to 100 Thieves saying that they're not in it. And so they might be treating these last games as if they're not making playoffs and just saying, let's try something already for next season. Give Seligo as much practice as possible, see what goes on in the academy between Huhi and Seligo, and maybe we can turn something around for summer.
We'll see who they continue to invest in throughout the split and moving into the summer as well. As we gear up for Team Liquid versus FlyQuest, make sure you're logged in to watch.lolesports.com, where your chat experience